day, or as soon as it hits afternoon, it becomes extremely faulty. I don't know why, but this is for people that are going to be notified by YouTube. I'm not going to share this in Discord because I know not everyone has my beliefs in being a Christian and everything, and I just kind of want to spew that for a little bit. Honestly, since I've been a Christian, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. I've been believing in Jesus ever since I was very young. Members of my family believe in Jesus as well. We're, a Christian household, but I can't help but think that a lot of it's like no matter what I do, a lot of the time in terms. By the way, Adriel, aka Luffy, what's up? You probably wouldn't understand a lot of this, so I highly recommend you not do research, but just you don't have to like listen or anything or whatever. But I was just gonna spew this out there. Um, I feel like no matter what I do as a Christian, I feel like the fuck was that? I feel like as a Christian, I feel like everything I do, I end up becoming like a lukewarm Christian, because I jerk off, or B, I swear, or C, I get ridiculously angry, and because of these faults that I have, I'm immediately labeled as like a lukewarm Christian because I don't read the Bible every day, or I don't uh, give you a Bible verse every day. I'm immediately labeled as a lukewarm Christian. I'm not a true Christian, and honestly, I also have another problem, not only just all of that, but another problem I have with being a Christian in my time being one, right, is whenever I try and be a Christian, I always end up having these commitment problems. And what I mean by commitment problems is I either, like, for example, I either commit all the way. And what I mean by commit all the way, as in, like, I commit way too much and I become, like, sort of, if not, a very different person than what I was before, right? And what I mean by that is I start looking at other people completely differently. Like, for example, I'm like, because I remember I was going through this a while back, you know, this person's sinning, this person's sinning, this person is sinning, that person is sinning, right? Or whatever, because they're just living their lives, they're enjoying their time, they're enjoying their day, right? And it's like, I feel like for me, because that was probably the furthest I've gone in terms of like fully committing to this whole, being a Christian thing. And again, I wasn't like a full-on Christian my whole life. Well, I'd say most of it, but you know what I mean. Hey, Alan, special stream because this is my first early stream. Hey, that's what's up, Eli. But I'm just talking about being a Christian, what it's like being a Christian or being a lukewarm Christian, because I feel like a lot of people would consider me being a lukewarm Christian because, I don't go to church or something, or I swear a lot, I cuss a lot, I jerk it off a lot, every guy jerks it at least once, but you get my point, right? I do all these things, right? And, whenever I try my best to fully commit and not do none of those things, I end up taking it to the next level and be like, man, do I gotta can I not like live my life now? Like, how do I even proceed to live my own life if I have to, again, fully commit to, I'm not saying fully committing to Jesus Christ and everything is wrong, but like fully committing to being a part of that Christian role by not jerking off, by not swearing, by not, being constantly, not like it's kind of, I don't know how to say it. It's, hello there. Also, my comment is up there. Yeah, I see that. and my reason why people is Christian are so hypocrites because I know this line they always say I'll never cheat on my wife, but they have a side hoe on the side. Dang, that's crazy. I didn't know that. That hat's a lady hat, bro. It is Monkey D. Luffy's straw hat, my man. But okay. But yeah, bye, welcome to stream as well. But I wanted to kind of talk about it because I kind of felt like it's been eating me alive again as of late. Because as of late, I've been trying to fully commit to being a Christian again. Because there was a time period where I was all up in it. And you guys remember that when I made that whole video about me being done jerking off. You know, that my experience jerking off or my experience masturbating and doing all that other sort of stuff. Which was a crazy video that I made. Because at that time, I remember, at that time, I was fully committed. I was, like, not jerking off. I was trying my best not to swear. I was, like, trying to be uptight on, like, absolutely everything. And by being so uptight with everything and everyone around me, like, kind of acting different, having, like, some type of different energy, it kind of felt like I wasn't being myself in a way. And I say that because myself, ever since I was young, you know, I was swearing, I was cussing, I was jerking it, you know, I was doing all these things since a very young age. And suddenly trying to transform my life into not doing any of those things, not like committing sin or whatever the fuck that I kind of made my mind believe is just stupidly fucking hard. And it's so annoying that sometimes I feel good just being a fucking lukewarm Christian, you know, or just not even committing at all, because it's like, it's so difficult for me to, again, do these things without some sort of, like, I feel like I need to have a stick up my ass, like, the entire fucking day. That's what it feels like to me some days, being Christian. It doesn't, I mean, it feels good, but at the same time, also for you, I don't mind you being Christian, but also you ain't some shame people. What do you mean by that? Doing scandalous things is crazy. I do these things sometimes. I mean, all guys do these things sometimes. Like, everything I mentioned, every guy has at least done once, right? But it's like, or not almost every guy has at least done one of these things once. You know what I mean? Like, you know, either swearing or, you know, having anger outbursts. Because I remember in the Bible, you know, being angry and having outbursts is not a really good thing. And it's one of those things they will judge you for, and it's a whole thing with that. And I don't know, man. Sometimes, you know, being a Christian is so difficult for me that sometimes I just want to live an ordinary fucking life where I don't, like, follow the Bible. I don't do none of that, but I still believe in God, and I just live my own life at the same time. You know, it gets that bad for me sometimes, where it's like, I gotta just be me, man. Like, it's so bad sometimes that, like, I can't even, like, I'm not trying to say, like, I want to hide myself from God or hide myself in my videos from God or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say, but, like, it's just, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, and I would love if y'all could let me know. Lucas, welcome to stream. If y'all feel this way too. I know there's some of y'all in here that do not have a religion or don't believe in religion or whatever, but feel me on this, you know what I mean? I'm trying to express how I feel about this, and I know I make my experiences based off my feelings in the moment sometimes, and I do that a lot, and I apologize, but at the same time, I just can't help it but, like, just think about this shit, like, on a regular basis whenever I'm, like, I gotta fully commit, I gotta rise up, I gotta do all these things, you know, in order to be straight, you know. And again, as well, for those who don't believe or those who don't have these issues, you know, sorry, fucking autocorrect. I don't mind you being Christian, but I also, as long as you don't shame people by saying they are sinning by enjoying their life. See, that's the thing, right? I was sort of kind of getting into that mentality, but I knew at the same time by, like, for example, I was getting into that mindset, but I was never saying it out loud, you know what I mean? I was just thinking it in my mind, but, like, every single, like, thing, right? That they were doing, like, just enjoying their lives, doing the regular day-to-day, like, damn, he just seemed like crazy right there by swearing that much or whatever. And I had this talk with my dad before, and I can't remember exactly what my dad said, but my dad said something, like, this is like a really extremely rough translation or way of putting it, but my dad said something along the lines of, fuck, I can't even remember it. That's why I'm just not even gonna bring it up. I feel sinful because one time I did it in church bathroom. I am so ashamed. Lord, forgive me. Damn, dude, you jerked off in a church bathroom? I have never done that, but damn, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But I have no right to judge. I'm not trying to judge nobody right now. But that is crazy, though. But it's just for me, and I feel like I need to express this sometimes. And my PS5 is having like difficulties all day working in this bitch. I have no idea why. And I'm gonna try to make this stream extremely short because I know there's a lot of people that are very touchy about religion as a topic, and I don't necessarily blame people for being extremely touchy about this topic because, you know, believing in Jesus, you know, a lot of people don't really believe in him, which is sad, but at the same time, you know, a lot of people have their own thoughts, and I'm just going to let them, you know, think the way they think. But that's what I mean by being like a Christian or a lukewarm. I hate it when people label me as a lukewarm when I do believe in God. I do read the Bible. I do these things, but I'm still a lukewarm Christian because I don't remember a Bible verse in my head and I don't spread it out to people on a regular basis, you know. I'm a lukewarm Christian because I don't throw up crosses or God crosses on my body or whatever, because I don't hide my love for Jesus, you know. I only mention it whenever someone wants to bring it up to me, but apparently I'm a lukewarm Christian for not, like, talking about it or not bringing it up in some way, shape, or form in my videos or whatever or something, right? I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it just feels like, yes, I'm streaming tomorrow, but it just feels like everything you do when you're a Christian feels like you're an actual lukewarm Christian. No matter what you do, like, that is somewhat enjoyable, that somewhat feels sinful in some way. Like, just in general, it feels like you immediately are labeled as like a lukewarm because you want to enjoy your day. You want to drink some soda. You want to, you know, you don't pray on accident for the next few days. You're immediately a lukewarm. And I'm just trying my best to wrap my head around, like, all of it and just trying to understand it better. So, like, I can, like, kind of move on from this thought process a little bit. And that's what I try to do, but then I end up kind of backpedaling everything and just saying, you know what, fuck it mode. Like, there's some days where I'm on board, and then there's some days where I'm just completely off the rails. I'm just like, straight up, fuck it. I fuck everything. Because it's so damn difficult to just fully commit sometimes. But anyways, let me read your guys' comments. My bad. As a person who is bi, plus Alex, there is nothing wrong with pleasuring yourself, but doing too much, that's when you need to stop. I do it sometimes when I'm in the mood or just some stress, but sometimes I stop, so. Yeah, and sometimes I do stop. I stop too. Like, I stop doing, you know, like the what is it? You know, the jerking off. I try my best to stop doing that. I even felt guilty for doing it the other day. But, you know, the urges of my mentality, like, kind of come after me. Bro, we are cooked. Trump just said he's allowing it, teachers to whoop kids. Well, if they ain't gonna learn, it was bound to come back eventually. You know, but hey, I'm just saying it's going to backfire because there's some kids that are about to get whipped and then not, like, right, they're about to get their hands, you know, if they get whipped, right, I know there's about to be kids, like, thrunching their face and just starting fights. There's going to be a lot more kids going to juvie, man, Because I already know, like, kids these days, if they get whipped in any way, shape, or form, since they don't know what it's like, ooh, some kids are about to seriously rebel, I can tell you that, if that ends up being the truth. But back to the topic at hand, it's honestly how I feel, and I feel like this is a big reason why there's a lot of people out there that try their hardest to be Christian, but everything they do in their life, they end up falling into the lukewarm category. And since they're a part of the lukewarm, they feel like they can't get out, and they end up just saying fuck it and stop being Christian altogether. Because some people feel like they can't enjoy their lives to the fullest if they try to be full Christian, right? And I know there's a lot of people that don't struggle with this and they're Christian and stuff, right? But I have a feeling there's a lot of people out there that watch God videos or Christian videos and feel like they're taking all the wrong steps or they aren't taking enough steps, and it's like a whole thing, right? Yeah, when people pleasure themselves all the goddamn time or something like that, there are people who pleasure themselves everywhere. Even if it's not necessarily like, seriously, we need limits. Okay, that's true. You should not be ashamed about it, Alex. The thing I get mad about is getting ashamed of getting mad about people getting ashamed of pleasuring yourself. People getting ashamed of pleasure themselves. I think you meant to say themselves there, but I get what you mean. I mean, I'm not like ashamed. I mean, I am ashamed of it sometimes, but it's only like sometimes when I feel like fully committing. But when I just say fuck it, dude, it's just something I gotta do. Get it out of your system and walk away with it. You know, walk off or do something else. You know, that's something. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I get it as, you know, Christians, other Christians, you know, you're just trying to help out other people. And sometimes I don't even know the proper way. Because this is another thing I want to talk about, right? It's not just, you know, all the stuff I mentioned, but another thing why I say it's hard being a Christian is the way Christians believe in, like, stuff. Like, for example, right? There are some Christians that believe that if you do these good deeds your entire life or throughout the period in your life, right, you go to heaven. But then there's other Christians that believe that it doesn't matter what good deeds you do. All that matters is that you truly believe in Jesus Christ himself. And you not only believe in him, but you also, like, full on know what he did for everybody. And that is enough to either go to heaven or just whatever. Like, that's just enough. And it's like, some people don't know what to even believe in because there's so many people who believe in God or who are just now getting into it or are just now becoming Christians and don't have 100% understanding of the Bible or don't have 100% understanding of what is biblically correct. What is the correct way of thinking in terms of believing in the Lord? Because I see it all the time. There's so many different people with so many different understandings of Christianity or believing in him that it's like, I have no understanding or no way to get an idea of what is 100% accurate because there's so many different ways to interpret these things in the Bible. Like, for example, I have the Book of Mormon in my dresser. I can show you guys that I have it. Right? Here, let me show y'all real quick. Here. Holy Bible, King James Version right here, right? I have this version of the Bible right here. And let me see if I can find the Book of Mormon real quick. Yep. Here. Another adaptation of the Bible. The Book of Mormon, right? Another testament of Jesus Christ, right here. So for anyone wondering, saying that, oh, you don't have any Bibles to read, I have these, and then not only those, but I also have, like, the one my dad has, like, a big-ass one or something, and I can't help but, like, just think, and I even said this when I went to try to go to temp church to the ladies, to the ladies that were going to take us into church and everything, I even said that, like, you know, guys, I believe in God all the way, but I just don't know how to go about it, because there's people on YouTube that lie, or there's people on YouTube that are forever changing their mindset on it, or trying to say it's completely different now. I have a completely different understanding of it now, and even I'm having, like, problems understanding it all the way, or different understandings of it, you know. But at least with me, I'm not trying to tell you one thing and then tell you a completely another thing like the next day. I'm just being real with how my process is and being a Christian is like. And then even with my experience believing in God videos, those were videos that I was just speaking my mind on about, you know, being a Christian, being a follower of Christ, and all that other sort of stuff, right? But I can't help it sometimes whenever I bring up this topic and be just so confused. And then you wonder why, again, so many people just decide to live their lives not believing in anything, because they can't see it in front of their face. For anyone that doesn't believe in a religion, you know, there's some people who don't believe in religion because religion is only exist for people to control you, you know, so you can stay in control. There's that reason. There's the reason of, okay, I need to see proof of Jesus, like his bones or his flesh or his hair. Let me see something like that for me to believe in Jesus. I don't like a book. Doesn't matter to me. I need physical evidence that he existed, not just books. I need, like, physical evidence of his robes, like his actual robes that he wore all the way from back then, or I need something. And there's more reason than just those that people just don't, or there's way more reasons why, you know, what's the word? Non-believers, or not non-believers, that's a little rude. Just, you know, people who don't believe in Jesus, you know, there's multiple reasons, but just to name like 2 or 3, those are some reasons why people just don't believe in them or are confused. And I'm not trying to say like every non-believer is confused. Some people just generally don't don't believe regardless, right? But there's some people that just don't believe, again, because they need proof, or the books are faulty, or the information in here are faulty. Like, for some reason on the internet, you know, so many Bible places have completely different Genesises or completely different things. And it's like, how am I supposed to understand all this shit? You know? How am I supposed to understand all this stuff, you know? And, like, am I supposed to understand it and come up with my own interpretation of what I'm supposed to follow? Or is there a legit way and I'm just not following it? And there's a lot of Christians that are on one side or the other, like I mentioned before. I still don't know what is true. But all I believe is that, like, right now, all I believe is that Jesus is real. Jesus existed at one point in time. He did this for our sins, and it's a whole thing. And I apologize for making long rants about this stuff, but I can't help but just speak my mind when it comes to these things and question, you know, a lot of this stuff. And again, for anybody that has questioned this before and that ended up just stop believing in everything, I can't blame you, because there is and there isn't a source. You know, everybody is going to have their own interpretation of what a Christian is and what a Christian isn't, I feel like, you know. And that's probably another reason why there's so many people out there that instead of believing in Jesus, they believe in the nature of the planet we live on. Like, they believe in nature, they believe in the spirit, they believe in, you know, the spirituality of things. They believe in the demons, they believe in the spirits, the angels, you know, all that stuff. And it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to fully process or even to understand a little bit. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a 1,000% understanding of who the Lord is, or spirits or demons or the devils. I'm only a 23-year-old man. Young kid, actually. So, I'm not going to come up to you and act like I have somewhat of a massive understanding of it. I feel like even someone who has been into it their whole lives only understands a fraction of it. This is me speaking off the dome, man. Dang, my head right there still hurts from the whole Punch-Out incident, and that's just honestly how I feel about it. And you know what? I think just moving forward, what I just need to do is just ease off, man. A part of me, like, is kind of coming to the same conclusion I had before, where I just need to live my life, believe in him always. Talk to him every once in a while, or talk to him every so often, every chance I can get, right? Obviously do a prayer every now and again, and just live my own life, know what he did, respect what he did, and just live on. Because it is constantly annoying trying to give yourself rules to abide by and whatnot. Just live the way you want to live. And do what is right. And just enjoy your time. Because I feel like a lot of this stuff is just to hold you down. Just to add more weight to you. Like, what I mean by that is to hold you down, to keep you from just doing what you want to do, you know? And I'm not trying to say all the Bibles are wrong. It's just that, I don't know, this is just my conclusion. And I'm not trying to get everybody in the stream to bandwagon with me and be like, yeah, come on, guys, believe in what I believe exactly. Because if you don't, you're something else. You're a monster. You're whatever. It's just my heart and my mind just speaking out and whatever to you guys about it. And I had to get this off my chest because, again, it was bothering me and whatnot. Fuck. Really needed that, man. Yeah, people want to do that thing in specific. They shouldn't be impulsive and do it right away, because it will only increase their chance of getting caught. Well, it's not only that, Lucas. It's just in general, it's more than that. I feel like some people have maybe lost their way in this and are losing understanding and whatever, you know? It's not just about the jerking off thing. I feel like it's beyond that, and I feel like I can barely, like, express it as it is right now, more than just the surface. You know what I mean? I feel like it's obviously way bigger than what I'm trying to speak about, but since I understand so little, and I don't even understand a fraction, I understand like a small little fragment, a small little piece of the larger puzzle, I feel like I'm only touching surface level shit when I talk about it, you know? And try to bring it to you guys and shit in some way. Nice mention Omniverse PFP, you know, so Alan, are you going to do a Mario Party 2000 stream? Maybe, what? Dude, no. I'm probably not going to touch Mario Party 3 until a long time from now after what the hell happened. Matter of fact, I need to do video chapters of freaking Mario Party 2. A Mario Party 2 stream where I played the first game and it got erased, so I need to start up the second game from fresh or whatever. Whew. But yeah, it was weighing on my mind about all of this. And I want y'all to take what I said, not only with a grain of salt, but let me know y'all perspectives on this. Because I'm not going to sit here and say I'm 1,000% right on this or whatever. You can correct me in the comments if you feel like you need to, if you feel like I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form, or if you're trying to help me understand this better. Because it felt like I just got like a big ass weight off my mind, like mentally off my mind by just speaking my shit. No, someone made a Mario Party called Mario Party 2000 Edition. I've never heard of it then. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for a little bit, you know. Anyways, tomorrow I'll try and do something if the internet isn't too freaking faulty. God bless. See you guys next time. Peace.